Have you tried buying a home lately and felt like you were competing with a ghost? Or worse, a $1 billion investment fund? If you're wondering why housing in Texas feels less local and more corporate, or why your rent keeps going up while inventory keeps shrinking, well then buckle up. Today we're talking about how out-of-state and international investors from New York to Beijing are reshaping the Texas housing market. And no, this isn't about blaming outsiders. It's about understanding what's happening, how it affects you, and what we can do about it. If you're new here, I'm Jenn Dodds, Houston area real estate expert and professional mythbuster. So hit that subscribe button and let's get real. Okay, so what's happening in Texas? Texas has always been a magnet for jobs, for opportunity, and for investors. But over the last few years, things have really escalated. Out-of-state and foreign investors are buying up homes, and they're buying them fast. Sometimes entire streets, sometimes entire developments, and they're often not living in them. In 2023 alone, investors accounted for nearly 1 in 5 home purchases in parts of Texas. That's not a blip. That's a structural shift, and the ripple effects are huge. What does that look like? Cash offers, quick closes, sight unseen purchases, homes turning into long-term rentals or short-term Airbnbs, and buyers like you're getting priced out. So story, I had a listing recently, great home, well-priced, got 3 investor offers within 24 hours, all cash, all zero emotion. So they are out and about and they're acting like piranhas. Who are these buyers that are flooding our market? So first you have domestic investors. They're folks from high-cost states like New York, Illinois, Colorado, Washington, etc. They're looking for ROI, and Texas is their playground. Some are mom-and-pop landlords buying 1 to 2 homes to rent. Others are flippers that are riding the appreciation wave. Then you have institutional investors. These are the big leagues. These are hedge funds, corporate landlords. These firms buy hundreds, sometimes thousands of homes. They turn neighborhoods into rental portfolios. There's actually one company that owns over 80,000 single-family homes in the U.S. alone. Then you have international buyers. And let's talk about this because Texas has always been a hot spot. We're talking folks from Canada, UK, Mexico, China, and beyond. For years, Texas has looked like a stable, no-brainer investment. Some want a vacation getaway, others are a steady rental income, and some, they just want to park their money in U.S. real estate because let's be honest, it often feels safer than their own financial systems. Here's the twist. Texas just passed a new law that's throwing up some major roadblocks, especially for certain foreign investors. As of September 1st, 2025, Senate Bill 17 will ban citizens, companies, and governments from China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran from buying or leasing any real estate in Texas. That includes residential, commercial, and even farmland. Now, there are going to be a few exceptions, like if someone is a dual citizen, a permanent resident, or legally living in the U.S. on a visa. But the message is clear. Texas is tightening the reins when it comes to foreign ownership from countries considered national security threats. Okay, so how does this affect you? Let's talk about the real-world impact, because this isn't just about who owns the homes, it's about whether you can even get one. So here's the thing, you have price escalation, you're competing with cash. When out-of-state or foreign investors are slinging around all the cash offers with zero contingencies, traditional buyers, especially our FHA, VA, or first-time homebuyers, barely stand a chance. I've seen listings that were priced right. They were marketed well and still bid up to $30,000 or more over asking. Not because families were in love with the home, but because investors were fighting over it like it was a Vegas poker chip. And here's the kicker. Those inflated comps, they become the new baseline for the neighborhood. So now the next buyer, maybe a young family or someone relocating for work, has to pay more just to stay in the game. And the appraisers, let's talk about them. They're stuck using those sky-high investor-driven prices. It's a ripple effect, and it's pricing real people out of home ownership. And then let's talk about shrinking inventory. You're going to have fewer homes. Every time a home gets scooped up and turned into a rental, it's removed from the pool of ownership opportunities. Multiply that across a neighborhood, and suddenly there's a serious shortage of available homes for actual homeowners. And less inventory doesn't just mean fewer options, it means more competition, higher prices, and faster sales that give buyers little to no time to think, inspect, or even breathe. This isn't just frustrating, it's structural. When investors dominate a community, it totally reshapes it. Long-term residents get pushed out, and the character of the neighborhood, it does change. And then let's talk about rising rents. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it because investors don't set rents based on compassion. They set it based on spreadsheets and profit margins. So that's how we get a $2,800 month rent for a $300,000 home. It's not about what's fair. It's about what the market will bear. And the market is bearing a lot right now. And guess what? Those rising rents don't just hurt tenants. They prevent renters from saving enough to become homeowners. It's a cycle that feeds itself. The more people priced out of buying, the more demand for rentals, which drives our rent even higher. This isn't just an economic issue. It's a community issue. When homes stop being homes and start becoming a commodity, the ripple effect reaches everyone, whether you rent, own, or just trying to raise your family in peace. So let's talk about the first issue. With absentee ownership, you have no roots, no responsibility. Here's the truth. Investors don't live here. They're not showing up to the HOA meetings. They're not volunteering at the school carnival, and they're definitely not coaching Little League or bringing snacks to the soccer game. When ownership becomes transactional, neighborhoods start to feel hollow. You lose that friendly way from your neighbor, the impromptu front yard conversations, and the shared sense of we're actually in this together. The result equals a loss of community identity. Investors own the home, but they don't care if the yard's overgrown, if the mailbox is busted, or if the paint's peeling, because they're not the ones living there. They don't care. And then let's talk about the turnover and instability. So renters aren't the problem. Let me be super clear about that because everybody needs a home. But high turnover is. When people move in and out every 6 to 12 months, it creates constant churn. Kids don't stay long enough to make best friends. Parents don't stick around to build community ties. It's hard to build trust or even learn someone's name when the for rent sign pops up every single year. That kind of instability chips away at the social fabric. There's less investment in long-term improvement. Why plant trees or plant a garden or meet your neighbors if you're going to be gone in 10 months? Those short-term rentals are exploding in some neighborhoods. It feels like every third house is an Airbnb. And if you've ever lived next to one, you know the drill. Late night parties, garbage cans overflowing, loud noises, strangers rolling in at all hours of the night. It's not just inconvenient, it's unnerving. What was once a quiet cul-de-sac becomes a revolving door of vacationers. There's no consistency, no neighborly connection, just a parade of unfamiliar faces and unpredictable activity. So the big picture here, all of this erodes what makes a community feel like home. It's not just about property rights or free markets. It's about the long-term health of neighborhoods. Okay, so why is this happening? This didn't come out of nowhere. Texas actually rolled out the red carpet to investors. We have no state income tax. We have a low cost of entry compared to other states in our country. We have a business-friendly environment. We have an explosive job growth, and we have high rental demand. On top of that, many Texas cities have little to no zoning restrictions. That's a dream for investors. And with technology making remote investing easier than ever, it's open season here. The result, local buyers have to compete not just with each other now, but now with the entire world. All right, now that we've unpacked the issue, it's time to talk solutions because this isn't just happening to us. We all play a role in how our neighborhood evolves. Here's how we can all step up no matter what hat you're wearing. So for buyers, we need to get strategic. This is chess, not checkers. If you're buying right now, you need to be savvy. This is not the time for lowball offers and hope. When you're competing against all cash, no contingency offers from investors, your strategy needs to scream, I'm serious and I'm solid. That's where having the right agent, hi, that's me, makes all the difference. I've helped buyers beat out investors many times, and it's not just about throwing money at the problem. It's about writing clean offers, knowing how to communicate with the other agent, adding value beyond price, and leveraging things like strong pre-approvals and creative terms to make sellers want to choose you. Your financing doesn't have to be a disadvantage if we structure your offer right. Let's play the game smart and win it. Now let's talk sellers. We got to think bigger than the check. I get it. Cash is king, and those quick close offers can be so tempting, especially if you're trying to move fast or feeling the pressure of this current market. But here's a thought. What if you're not just selling a house? What if you're passing the torch on of a home? If you care about your street, your neighbors, your legacy in the community, then maybe selling to a family who wants to live here, build memories, and be part of the fabric is worth more than that extra $5,000 in your pocket. Plus, here's a thing to remember. Something investors like to do is it's not as guaranteed as an offer as they sound. They walk away, they renegotiate after inspections, or they ghost you altogether. So if you've got a strong buyer who loves your home, wants to raise a family there, and is ready to close, that's true value. And then last of all, communities, you need to stay awake and you need to stay vocal. You don't have to be on the city council to make a difference, but you do need to stay informed. Go to your HOA meetings. Yeah, they're not exactly riveting, but they matter. And they can also be a little fun to watch too. Pay attention to zoning changes on short-term rental ordinances in your area. Ask your elected officials where they stand on investor ownership and neighborhood protections. And if something is off, looks off, say something. This isn't about being anti-investor. It's about keeping neighborhoods livable, stable, and rooted in people who actually want to be there. Texas is strong, but strength without strategy always leads to chaos. We can't stop investments entirely, and nor should we, because they truly are a good thing. But we can demand balance. We can protect the dream of home ownership for the people who actually live, work, and raise families here. So if you're trying to buy or sell in this wild market, reach out. I'm here to help you navigate it. And if this video sparked something in you, drop a comment. Let's talk about what's happening in your neighborhood. Have investors actually changed your area? I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a reality check on what's really happening in Texas real estate. See you next time.